Hey you guys, it's Peter, and welcome to my channel, Peterisms, where I tell stories of my life and just little things that I have learned as I have grown into the person that I am today. And I actually haven't made a video over here. I think it's been like 2 to 3 weeks, maybe 2 weeks, I don't know. When I came back and I started making videos again, my plan had been to film videos on several channels almost every single day. And that just didn't happen. I would get like 2 or 3 videos in and my back would start hurting from sitting in the chair and I'd just be like, okay. But I will tell you that going forward in the month of June, I am going to try to film on this channel at least 4 to 5 times a week, if not every single day. And I'm gonna save several of my meditation books for just on this channel. I am doing extensive prayer and meditation every single day, and it's really, really helped me. I have to tell you, the days that I don't do it, I can really tell a difference. I do it in the mornings, well, whenever I get up, and I do my prayers, I do a gratitude list, I read several of my meditation books. I think I showed on here everything that I do. And then there's 2 other books that I'm reading from. I'm almost done with this Melody Beatty book on acceptance. And then I'm just going to start getting some inspirational books, not necessarily just meditation books, but inspirational books to read, you know, 1 every month or something like that. And I may mention it on here if you'd like to read it along with me, because I'm just finding that half an hour to 45 minutes, which is about as long as I'm taking now. It was a lot shorter than that. It was 5 to 10 minutes. But I'm just sitting on the front porch, drinking an iced coffee, reading as much as I possibly can, you know, and just kind of sitting in silence sometimes. And it's been really, really nice. So I do that when I get up. And then in the evening, before I go to bed, usually before I watch my last TV show of the night, or after I watch my last TV show, sometimes like while I'm watering my plants on the front porch, I just walked into the driveway or into the street and I do my prayers, and then I do a 10-step inventory, which is out of our basic text of recovery, but I have an app that I actually do it on, and I just kind of think about my day and, you know, was I resentful towards anybody? Do I owe anybody an apology or an amends? Was I kind and loving towards all? There's so many questions in there that it asks. You know, did I reach out to somebody to see if they needed help today? Anything like, all things like that. And that has really formed a new way of thinking for me. And so it's been really, really, you know, this is something that I've done for a long time, but there have been periods where I have, you know, not done it on a daily basis or whatever. And, you know, even now, like, well, this is what's different now, is that if, let's say it gets to be a little bit in the afternoon, and I always do my prayers, but let's say if it's gotten into a little bit in the afternoon and I haven't done my meditations, I can really tell a difference. Like, I can really tell just on how I'm looking at my day, my perspective, and things like that. So even just to, you know, pick up one book and sit down and read it and really think about the meditation, not just to read through it, but to really think about it and kind of discuss it with myself like I do on here, is like so helpful. So they're really, I've just fallen back on it, and it's been so helpful. And I also want to say this, there have been so many of you that have continued to support me on this channel, and I really, really appreciate it. And, you know, when I made my first video back on here, people were like, you guys were like, you know, it's so good to see you back on this channel. This channel has really helped me so much, and so I just want to say thank you. Okay, so I actually saved the 2 Melody Beatty books for today, as well as the Daily Book of Positive Quotations, and a couple other ones. Well, this is my recovery one, and then this Believing in Myself. I saved all of these for this video. So let's, actually I want to read from the Daily Book of Positive Quotations first. I remembered my reading glasses, can you believe it? So let's see, June 1st. Keeping ourselves down. As long as you keep a person down, some part of you has to be down there to hold him down. So it means you cannot soar as you otherwise might. Marian Anderson. Does someone else always have to lose in order for us to win? Sometimes we act as if that's the case. We scheme covertly or overtly, trying to make sure that some trivial, for affection, for position, for attention, doesn't get what he or she wants. We drop hints, gossip, hold back information. But when we try to keep others down, we also keep ourselves down. We become meaner and smaller than our best selves. All too often, our machinations fail anyway. Otherwise, others see our meanness for what it is, and we lose out on opportunities we might otherwise have had. Helping someone else rise might well help me rise too. I think this is such a great meditation. You know, I think it's like, in anything that we do, I was just talking about this last night. It's like in anything that I do, I always try to look at my motive or my intention. You know, like what am I really? What's the focus point or the foundation of what I'm trying to do here? You know, and you know, I think like I have been around a lot of people in my life, not so much I would say in the last 10 years, but before that, you know, that really their goal was to rise to the top. And they had their eyes set on that goal. And, you know, I am somebody that, I'm very innocent-minded. Like, I don't think that way. I really don't. And I'm not saying this like, oh, well, you know, pat me on the back. But I think it's why I've often in life gotten taken advantage of. Because I don't think that way. Like, I was watching the thing about Pam, and she's just constantly scheming and, you know, and conniving and manipulating, and I think that has to be so tiring, you know? I'm not saying that when I was in active addiction that I wasn't that way, but I just wasn't that good at manipulation. You know, did I lie? Did I manipulate? Sure, absolutely, but it wasn't like this intentional rise to the top kind of mentality of keeping other people down, you know? I have been witness to being at like a lunch or a dinner with people and seeing somebody like deliberately say something that is hurtful or painful just to kind of, you can see like get in somebody's head. And I've witnessed that before, and it's like so hurtful. Like, I don't understand that. I don't understand what your desire or need is. And I always attempt, you know, afterwards, not at that moment, because I don't like to engage in it at that moment because I think it gives that person power, but to afterwards say, you know, there's no truth to that. Don't listen to what they were saying to you. You know, you're beautiful, or your hair looks great, or you're doing a great job, or you're a great mom, or whatever, you know? But what it does do for me is, it is a huge red flag as far as beware of that person that is doing that, you know? Because it's really interesting to me, this intentional keeping others down. Like, what do you gain from that? What do you, I've just never understood that. I've never, you know, it goes along with the whole idea of hate watching on YouTube that I've never understood. Like, why you would watch somebody that you absolutely hated just to leave the most cruel comment that you possibly, like, what's your reasoning from that? Like, are you such a nasty, ugly, hurting, miserable person inside? Because I do believe that hurt people hurt people. So are you so hurting inside that you do that to others? And my suggestion to anybody would be, we are given only a limited amount of days on this earth, right? And how do you want to spend those? Do you want to spend those keeping others down, being mean-hearted, feeling powerful through this idea of hurting other people? Or would you like to enjoy the blessings of the earth? Like, I don't understand that. For me, I would rather enjoy the blessings of the earth, you know, and what I'm given on a daily basis, and seeing the birds fly and feeling good and watching things that make me happy, you know? Like, I don't understand that. So, all right, let's read one more meditation since I haven't been over here for a while. Let's see. I'm gonna go through the Melody Baby book first and see what the first one is. Maybe. Maybe I'll keep that one to myself until I see which the other one is. Okay, let's do the first one because it comes from the language of letting go. I think it's going to go along a little bit with what we were just talking about. June 1st, directness. We feel safe around direct, honest people. Sometimes, I think. They speak their minds and we know where we stand with them. Indirect people, people who are afraid to say who they are, what they want, and what they're feeling, cannot be trusted. They will somehow act out their truth, even though they do not speak it. And it may catch everyone by surprise. Directness saves time and energy. It removes us as victims. It dispenses with martyrdom and games. It helps us own our power. It creates respectful relationships. It feels safe to be around direct, honest people. Be one. Today I will own my power to be direct. I do not have to be passive, nor do I need to be aggressive. I will become comfortable with my own truth, so those around me can become comfortable with me. You know, I don't even know if I'd say I have some people. I think most or almost all of the people in my life are very direct. From my husband to my best friend Tanya, to my cousin Caroline, to my friend Valerie, to all of my friends I feel like in my life are very direct. You know, if they're worried about me, they say, hey, listen, I'm worried about you. Or, you know, if they think I'm making a bad choice, they'll say, like, I don't think this is a wise choice, you know, or whatever, if they think I need to think about something or look at something, you know, but not in a hurtful or a harmful way. And I think presentation is 99% of being direct. I really do. You know, on the heels of what I was just talking about, I feel like I've had some very direct people that are like, well, listen, I'm just being honest. I'm just telling you the truth. And I'm like, the truth hurts, they'll say. And I'm like, well, it's not so much the truth that you're saying, it's how you're saying it, it's how you present it, you know? It's like none of those people that I mentioned before that are loving and kind and compassionate in my life ever say anything to me in a loving way. They also don't sugarcoat things. One of the things that I had to get over in being a direct person, and I am a direct person, is that I had to stop saying, like, to my friends, or, you know, like, my friend Tanya is somebody that I used to do this to forever, is I'd say, now, don't get mad at what I'm going to say, or I would preface it by saying something like, you know, I hope this doesn't upset you, but, and she would say, just don't even, like, just say what you're going to say, right? And to the point where today she knows, I mean, she's known this for a long time, I love her. I care about her. I want the best for her. So anything that I'm going to say is going to be out of that. It's going to be out of this place of, hey, listen, I'm being direct with you and I'm being honest with you. I'm not being cruel. I'm not being cold-hearted. I'm just telling you how I feel because I want the best for you and because I love you, right? I think the problem comes when we don't necessarily trust people, or we've grown up in an environment where we can't trust people, because those people that should have loved us and should have taught us that people that love us can be direct and that's a safe place, they didn't love us. And we grew up in chaos, and we grew up in sickness, and we grew up in addiction, and we grew up in mental health and pain, right? And so what happened was people would say to us, I'm telling you this because I love you, right? Like very much like Carrie, you know, the movie. I mean, that's an extreme example, but like they're all going to laugh at you. You know, it's like, okay, but look at your motives. Look at the mother's motives in that movie. It wasn't that she was like overtly concerned, you know, it's like, so we have these histories that we bring along with us. Speaking of Tanya, I was just actually telling her about some show. What was it that I was watching? I can't remember. I watched so many shows. But in the show, there was a male character and a female character. Why can't I remember what it was? I think it was Under the Banner of Heaven. And the one police officer said, we all, was it that? I can't remember. But something like, we all come with different backgrounds, and none of us come from the same, like, we're not meeting at the same time. So when we meet people in life, and we expect that we can be direct with them, or they can be direct with us, or be honest with us because we're friends and that's a safe space, we're not meeting with the same history or even the same mileage, you know? I might only have 20 miles of baggage, whereas the person I'm friends with might have 200 miles of baggage. So their level to trust in a situation where I'm being direct or honest is not the same as I am. Whereas I may be able to trust a lot easier, you know? And we have to think of that. We have to think about that, you know, as we enter these relationships with people that we want to trust us, that we want to be able to be direct with, and we want them to be able to be direct with us. And I think that only happens over time of trial and error, and also being hurt, you know? There have been times in my relationship with my best friend where I have been hurt by things that she has said to me, or she has been hurt by things that I have said to her, and we've had to talk about, you know, like, well, I would prefer if you would have said it this way, or I would have preferred if you would have said it that way, or I didn't understand what you meant by that. And it's all about communicating and talking, you know, and developing over a long period of time a safe space, because that's what we need. We all want a safe space with the people in our lives, even if that's just one person. You know, I think the majority of the people that I know in my life that don't really have many people, and I don't have many people in my life, and I'm okay with that, but I think the majority of people that I know that say that they have nobody in their life is because they feel that they've been so burned, and they're so afraid to trust again, you know? When you don't know that the next person that you might meet might be the greatest person that you've ever had in your life. So you have to stay open to that. Anyway, let me know what you think about those meditations. I really like those meditations. They're kind of challenging today, you know, and thought-provoking. So anyway, let me know what you think about those meditations. I love you guys, and I will see you tomorrow.